To access the power seat switch for the seat you're working on, you need to remove the side seat cover. For additional assistance with that task, please follow the link provided at the end of this video to find our video on removing and installing your front and rear seats. Begin by grabbing the seat bottom position switch and pull off the plastic knob by pulling it away from the seat. Pull off the seat back switch knob by pulling it away from the switch. Pull out the side seat cover to expose the inside of it. Unclip the 4 plastic tabs, green arrow, that hold the switch to the cover. With the switch exposed, identify the 3 black pins that operate the switch. The first pin, green arrow, is for the front seat cushion up and down, forward and back movement. The second pin, yellow arrow, is for moving the whole seat up, down, forward and back. And the third pin is for positioning the seat back and the headrest. If the seat is not working at all, begin by checking the fuses. Our fuse box was mounted in the ceiling of the glove box. You do not need to remove the glove box to check it. Check your wiring diagram to see which fuse yours is. Ours was number 10. To unplug the passenger power seat switch from the harness, grab and slide the lock and pull it away from the switch. It is a cam lock, so you slide it out in the switch and harness, and the switch will separate until you can unplug the switch. With the power seat switch unplugged, you can see the pins. Check for corrosion that might be the cause of a bad connection. If you look closely, you can see the pin numbers embossed in the plastic next to each pin. In this video, we're going to give you the pin numbers as we check things. To test the switch, lever off the back cover to expose the wiring while the switch is still connected. You should not remove the back cover with the switch unplugged because the pins may fall out of the connector and you will have to be able to identify the correct slots for the pins to go back into. The green arrow identifies pin 1, power or ground for the seat cushion tilt motor. The green arrow identifies pin 2, power or ground for the seat cushion tilt motor. Pin 3, power or ground for the seat forward and back motor. Pin 4, power or ground for the seat forward and back motor. Pin 5, power supply to the switch. Pin 6, ground supply for the switch. Pin 7, power or ground supply for the seat up and down motor. Pin 8, power or ground supply for the seat up and down motor. Pin 9, power or ground for the headrest motor. Pin 10, power or ground for the seat back motor. Pin 11, power or ground for the headrest motor. Pin 12, power or ground for the seat back motor. Each motor that controls the power seats is a DC reversible motor. This means it only has 2 wires. When one wire is power and the other is ground, the motor will move the seat in one direction. If you reverse the polarity and apply ground to the first wire and power to the second wire, the motor will spin and operate the seat in the opposite direction. We are going to connect our test leads to each wire of the motor we are testing. If we get a good voltage reading, then the switch is good and the motor is bad. If we do not get a good voltage reading, then we have a bad switch or possibly bad wire. Here we have our red lead on pin 5, power supply, and our black lead on pin 6, ground supply. You should read battery voltage on your meter. This means fuse number 10 is good in the fuse box. To test the seat back switch, move your test leads to pin 10 and 12 at the back of the switch. Does not matter which lead goes on which pin because of the reverse polarity. You're going to either read battery voltage or negative battery voltage depending on which way you move the switch. Put the seat switch knobs back on the switch temporarily. Push the seat back switch forward in the direction of the blue arrow. Your meter should read either positive or negative battery volts. In our case, it read positive and the seat moved forward. Move the seat back switch in the backwards direction in the direction of the blue arrow. Your meter should read the opposite voltage reading you got from the first test. This means the voltage is going through the motor in the opposite direction. In our case, we measured negative battery voltage, and our seat moved backwards. Move the test leads to pin 9 and 11. Once again, it doesn't matter which lead goes where. Move the seat back switch in the up position in the direction of the blue arrow. We read positive battery volts and the seat headrest moved up. Move the seat back switch in the down position in the direction of the blue arrow. This time we read negative battery volts and the headrest moved down. To test the seat up and down switch, move the test leads to pins 7 and 8. Doesn't matter which way you connect them. Use the seat switch to move the seat to the up position. We read positive battery voltage and the whole seat moved up. Use the seat switch to move the seat in the down position. We read negative battery voltage and the whole seat moved down. To test the forward-backward seat switch, move your test leads to pin 3 or 4, and once again, it doesn't matter which lead goes on which pin. Use the seat switch to move the seat in the forward position. We read positive battery voltage and the whole seat moved forward. Use the seat switch to move the seat in the rearward position. We read negative battery voltage and the seat moved in the rearward direction. To test the up and down switch, move your test leads to pin 1 and 2. Use the seat switch to move the front of the seat in the up position. We read positive battery voltage and only the front of the seat moved up. Use the seat switch to move the front of the seat in the down position. We got negative battery voltage and the seat moved down. Remember, if we get a good voltage reading, then the switch is good and the motor is bad. If we do not get a good voltage reading, then we have a bad switch or possibly bad wiring. Carefully reassemble all of the components that you took apart to perform this test. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.